Welcome to Your Soul Wisdom, hosted by Yana Amor Manocas. In each episode, we invite you on a transformative journey delving into the profound mysteries and wisdom of the soul. Join us as we explore a wide array of spiritual topics and sacred practices that nurture and heal the soul, from reincarnation and soul contracts to the enigmatic experiences of womb alchemy and astral travel. Our discussions are designed to enlighten, inspire, and deepen your understanding of your own soul's journey. With Your Soul Wisdom, nothing is off limits. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Your Soul Wisdom. And boy, do I have a story to share with you, ladies. Okay. Except Rachel might know most of this story. About a month and a half ago, I don't know if I shared this, but it was kind of like somebody hit my car in a parking lot. Did I share this with anybody?
Yeah.
So just to give full context, I was at a restaurant. This random woman comes up to me and she says to me, "Do you have a white SUV?" And I said, "Yes." And she says, "The woman at the other end of the restaurant hit your car. She was trying to park next to you. She hit your car. And then she moved her car 5 spaces down and is sitting down and eating at the restaurant."
Oh,
And I
wow.
was thinking to myself, there is no way someone hits you, moves down, and then goes inside to enjoy their dinner. But that's what happened. Long story short, I went up to the lady. She tried to play it off at first as if she had no idea what I was talking about, that it wasn't her car. At the end of the day, she claimed it. Her insurance fixed my car. No problem. Well, Saturday, I happened to go to this event early in the morning, around 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Me and my daughter are walking to the car, back to the car, and just beautiful neighborhood. And as we're coming up to the car, I see these 3 people gathered around my car. And I was like, what is happening? And as I go there, they say, "Is this your car?" And I say, "Yes." And they said, "We just saw somebody hit your car and take off." And I was like, "What?" They said, "Yes, this man in his 30s um, went to parallel park in front of you, hit your car. He clearly got scared, reversed, and took off. And here's his license plate and blah, 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 blah." And now I'm sitting here going, I'm trying to stay as calm as possible, but all I can think is, why did this happen to me now twice?
Yeah.
Is this a karmic debt or something that I am paying off? Or I believe, Rachel, you planted the seed where sometimes you're just the tool that's used for other people's karma.
You're a character
Or,
in someone else's play.
correct? Or do we think everything is spiritual and sometimes things are just random things that happen?
In that case, it's not random if it's happened twice. And I'm not parking near you. That's all I can say.
Yeah, but like,
Hey,
Do you know
I don't know what to
that?
say because when you go first, Amanda.
No. Okay.
Okay, well,
I
it's
was
only
going to
because I had a sort
say.
of similar experience when just yesterday I was going to PT, and very unusually I was pulling into the road that PT is on, and I almost got T-barred, like really badly, on my side with a massive SUV, this kind of thing. Anyway, I was on the phone and I sort of did lead out a screech, but I didn't get the accident, but I had to do a really awkward turn to get back into the street. And anyway, when I was leaving PT, I was going down the other end of the street and turning right. And I clocked him immediately. There was someone who was clearly very mentally unwell and unstable coming down the road. But what I didn't expect was for this man to run at my car and hit it with his hand. Anyway, that gave me a shock as well. When I'm talking to Lauren before my treatment with her, I'm going, "Lauren, what's going on? I seem to have changed timelines. This shit does not happen to me. Like, I hear about this stuff happening to other people, but it doesn't happen to me." Anyway, but the point with our topic of everything is spiritual is weirdly by the end of the treatment, I had realized that that's exactly what happens to me. I get into positions or situations of danger, but nothing actually happens. And so, as far as everything being spiritual, I was both ways, sort of like going, what am I doing? What have I done? How have I stuffed up my karma, my life, my whatever for these things to already start happening and in quick succession, which is really alarming, to realizing that nothing to realizing that nothing had happened. Like, what I find interesting is what the end of your story is going to be, because what has happened is that these two people have, for want of better words, sort of treated you badly, but there's been people who have seen them, have found you, have reported it, you have confronted them, one of them's been paid. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like, if that is a spiritual experience, it's also not a bad one, even though it involves car accidents. Do you know what I mean? Because you could really interpret that as being really looked after every step of the way, no matter what happens.
I
Anyway.
don't disagree.
What color is your car? Can I just ask? What color is
White.
your
My
car?
car, my car's grey now. I've got one of those. I don't know. In Australia, all the cars have turned into what
Some sort of grey
the
khaki.
Yeah, it's sort of like the undercoat colour that cars
Mhm.
used to be before they actually got. That's what the fashion is now. So
But
that's what my car
Jana,
is.
did you actually get to the second person? Like, they drove off, right? So have you found them, or is that unresolved?
The license plate that the witnesses wrote down and the make and model do not match when the police looked it up.
Oh.
So then the house across the street had cameras everywhere. That man was lovely enough to send me a video of the accident happening. And as the SUV, as the other guy, as he reverses after he hits me, you could clearly see his license plate, but because it's pixelate, like it's not high resolution, it's a little bit further out. I can't make out a single letter or number of the plate.
Oh,
Can you
So-
make the make and model, though, to see if that is
So why
correct?
can't you
yeah,
go
that
just
would-
off
yeah.
the plate?
No,
Why
she
can't
can't
the thing
really
just
do
go
that.
off the
Right.
plate?
Because the car that hit me was a BMW X8. Okay?
Yeah.
The license plate do not match a BMW X8.
BMW X8.
Correct. And so then the police says, well, your insurance now, it has to go through your insurance, and your insurance has to do the investigation with the information that they have
Okay.
to hopefully try and find somebody. So I'm very much like at the end of the day, I'm like, whatever. It is what it is, right? I have insurance. That's what insurance is for. I also don't want to get dinged on my insurance because this is not my fault. Someone should take accountability for what they did. And then, of course, we sit here and we make everything into a very spiritual, what is the lesson and what is the meaning? But sometimes is it just something that happens? Or is
But
everything
I think,
spiritual?
like Kylie said, if it has happened twice. Do you know sometimes we can become invisible, especially our cars, depending on what there is something. I'm trying to that's why I was quiet a lot, because I was thinking there is some kind of protection thing that you can do that kind of renders you invisible. And if you don't unlock it before you leave, say, a house or a premises, you can get into accidents on the road because your car becomes invisible, but then you're not actually in the car. Your car's parked.
Okay, can I respond to that though? That to me seems like spiritual bullshit. Like an excuse for things happening. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. But this goes back to the question of, is everything spiritual, or are we just making it spiritual?
Well, I think it depends, because I think everything is an opportunity for deeper meaning and awakening. It doesn't mean that spirit necessarily lined up these events, all the time. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say all the time. I do think things can just happen, but I do believe that we can grow from every experience or whatever that may be. So it's down to interpretation too. Amanda, what's going on?
I'm looking at Kylie.
Kylie's
I
face.
agree. No, I agree. No, I agree totally with because sometimes, because my head's thinking, and because I'm thinking it's funny in my head. So that's why I'm laughing. So I'm not laughing at what Lauren's saying. I totally agree with what Lauren's saying. Why I started laughing was because it's happened twice. I don't think that if something's happened twice, you can just say, well, it's just happened twice, because then what happens when it happens? Well, we don't want it to happen a third time. But what happens if it keeps happening? Is something trying to get your attention? I don't know what it means.
I agree with that too. Two
You know
things
what I
in a short
mean?
amount of
And
time
it's happened
is
twice
significant.
in the exact same way. Same situation has happened. It's identical. The only thing that's different is that they didn't get it correct. And they may have got it correct. The person who was driving the car may be dodgy. They may have a different license plate on their car, which doesn't actually represent the car, because they're hoping the car may be stolen. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think that something can happen twice. If you were to say to me, well, I got into an accident, and then either somebody hit me and then I hit somebody, then I could understand that. Do you know what I mean? But the exact same thing happens, that you're not inside the car, but when you come back, or somebody comes and finds you and tells you that somebody's hit your car and here's the details. Come on, that can't not be spiritual.
I agree, except for it makes me think about when Apple Music introduced, random shuffle play. And so many people were freaked out when very occasionally Apple would play the same song twice in a row. But it was random. But randomly that can happen, that Apple had to go in and change it so it wasn't that random, and that wouldn't happen. Do you know what I mean?
Amanda's spotting away a random.
Are you trying to make my words down, or is there something attacking you there?
No, they're out for me. The creatures.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm not hanging out with either of you two ladies.
Okay,
but they're 3D creatures. Yeah, Amanda, they're just small. They're not multi-dimensional beasts.
All right,
coming
Kylie,
for you.
Tell that to somebody who's ever gone to bed with a gnat or a mosquito.
Yes, I agree.
Kylie,
tell us your thoughts that are contrary to all of ours.
This triggers the shit out of me. I'm just going to start off with that, because as someone who's deeply spiritual, okay, there are certain lines. I agree. Like, I'm over here going, yeah, and I think it's time to get a new car. That's just me. I'm thinking it's just time to get a new car, and this is the universe giving it some little taps, little love taps.
Can I also? Yeah, I'm also not dumping on Yana, and we talked about this on the phone as well. But Yana has previously really liked her cars, and she really does not enjoy this car.
Correct. We've
talked about it. That kind of thing.
I think it's time to.
No, it's coming up. The car life is finishing with Yana in the short term, but it also occurred to me that if you don't like something, then maybe somebody's trying to help you out not having it.
That's right. I would just park it out on a main road and let nature take its course, and then just get it totally written off and just get the check and go to the car dealership. But that's just me. Okay, that's just the way that I think. But I think that twice in a span of short month is a bit of a red flag as to, okay, what do I need to know? What do I get to sit with shit and go, okay, does this feel good? Like, am I getting a new car? I can imagine myself in a new car. Or am I, like, is this a karmic thing? Cool bullshit. Is this karmic, whatever, but you got to sit with that. But I think that we read too much into every little thing. I'm sorry. Right. And if you're like, okay, asking for it, right? Like, I want that random song to repeat, give me confirmation, and that repeats, maybe I'll pay attention. But I am also notorious for having 6 things happen in the span of a month and still not getting the hit over the head. So maybe I'm not the best person. But
do you think it's because you process quickly?
Yeah, or I think if I really need to know, it'll be the most random thing. It'll be like a really random thing that will have to get my attention. I don't do well with the subtle things. It has to be really random. I'm going to ignore subtle, and I think Spirit knows that. Has to be super random.
So let me ask you this question, because you've had a hell of a July 2026, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel, okay, so have you had moments to sit back and go, aside from that rock, okay, where we did the rod, that whole thing?
Can I just say that my husband's like, I think the rock is possessed and needs to get out of the bedroom. And I'm like, yeah, because it's been sitting here for like 2 weeks. Can I just say that? Yeah, he said that. Go on.
Okay.
Okay. So
What?
That's
well, it got
one
the
thing in
Sprite
your life.
can out of the 7-Up can, and it came into her bedroom.
That's right.
Into
It's
your
sitting here
bedroom?
now. It's sitting
Why
in
is it in your
AC. It's
bedroom?
getting comfortable. Because I don't know, Amanda, because I was sitting with it going, what am I doing with my rock that I stole from a sacred site? And I
And then you
finally
just put it down next
realized,
to the bed and left it there.
and I just left it next to the laptop and forgot about it, okay? So anyway, yeah.
Cool.
What were you saying, Yana?
Okay, do you think that with everything, with the type of crazy month that you've had, right? I'm just going to use you for the example right now. Is it that aside from the rock, have you not connected anything to a spiritual, like
No.
anything? Or are you just
No.
like, oh, day after day after day, whatever happened, like it just happened, I'm moving past it?
Look, I think it's just a combination of life catching up, ignoring, ignoring my I need to slow down. And I'm like, okay. So it took a hospital trip to be like, okay, I get to slow down. But that's how I roll. I don't roll an ankle and sit down for 20 minutes and rest. I need to be flat on my ass for me to get the message, you know? So and I take it as like I don't make a big deal out of it. I'm just like, okay, got it. And I'll slow down on this or I'll go deal with this or whatever.
So then that is a spiritual
I
thing for you.
guess, but like not everything has to be as deep
Yeah.
as that.
I think
If
it's
that
both.
makes sense. Yeah, it can
Right.
absolutely be both. Yeah. But I don't see like going to the like I had to go to the hospital and I don't really associate that with a spiritual thing. I associate that with I pushed my body too hard and now I get to slow down. And that's just it. Like I
Cause
don't
and
see that.
effect.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't
Mm.
see that as a spiritual thing. I don't know what you ladies think, but
Well, look, one
Well,
thing I've
I think
realized when you were talking is that spiritual things for me are spontaneous. So even when I was talking about that experience I had of having two negative experiences that I realized actually weren't negative because nothing happened, that wasn't me trying to make it into something spiritual. That was something that sort of like I realized. And then I expressed it, that kind of thing. And then it was kind of real because I'd shared it with Lauren and now sharing it with you guys. But yeah, I don't think that I actively go around looking for spiritual meaning in things, but sometimes spiritual meaning gets born out of things and I notice it, that kind of stuff.
yeah, I think I'm like that. But I think with me, I think I look for the spiritual meaning first. I do. And sometimes I'm in situations whereby I just think shit just happens. And I'm a big person of shit just happens. Um, but at the same point in time, I guess I do. I mean, I would immediately feel into it. And if I'm not getting, well, if I'm not getting something about it, or that's something that I need to probably ponder on or take some more time with, um, then I'll just know where shit just happens. It's just a 3D thing. It just is what it is. Don't know what else to make of it. But like, like last year when I had it was last year November, I had loads of things going on, and I got to that point whereby I was outside my front door crying. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck my life. Do you know what I mean? Because it was just everything was happening. Came outside, flat tire, got into an accident 2 weeks before. Then I came out, I'm going here, and it's like I said, it's a flat tire. Then there's this happening, and then this doesn't get delivered, and nobody's doing what they're supposed to be doing or being where they're supposed to be. And and to be quite honest with you, I can't remember if I figured out what was going on. I don't really know what was going on. I just went through a time whereby it was just everything was just shite. And I couldn't understand why it was happening. But I was tired. I was really tired. And it may have been that my energy, because like we had my husband's party, and usually after the party, we all clear up everything. The floors gets wiped down, everything gets back, chairs come out, everything gets put back to normal. And so we wake up in the morning, everything's great. But after that party finished, it finished like 6 o'clock in the morning. I just said, when my husband looked at me, I just said, I'll go to my bed. I said, don't even ask me to stay up and do nothing. I said, because I'll just be angry. I said, I'm going to bed. I was too tired. I was so tired. And I think I was just maybe just tired. So lots of things was happening. But I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, but
Is
I
it?
want to
I'm
I
frustrated.
want to tie something real quick. Is it okay? Where are we? Maybe show of hands on everything happens for a reason,
Kind of
Look,
think it.
or everything.
well, one
Eh,
thing I did want to say, I don't think anything's
Yeah.
random. Do you know what I mean? And I think everything happens with cause and effect. Like you can call it
Everything
karma,
is
but it's cause and effect.
interconnected. If
If
you want to look
it's
at,
just atoms banging on each
yeah,
other or whatever, there is cause and effect that is causing everything. Whether I can understand it, the millions and billions of variables, but yes. So I don't know if everything happens for a reason. If only like the reason is movement.
But let me
well,
ask
if
you something.
nothing
This is something
can,
that I do, right? No, let me ask you something, right? So this is something that I do. Okay. So we think we don't know what it is. But this is something that I often ask. If you did know, what would it be? If you did
What
know.
is the question? If you did know what? If you
If you
well,
did
if
did
you did
know,
know
know the
what
meaning of why
was,
this happened, what would it be? Like, just draw
what would
on
it
that.
be?
Ask the
If you
question.
did know, what would it be?
honestly, it's always that expansion expression experience answer that comes up for me.
So I have a story that I'd like to, and I want to pose the question to you ladies. So we spent a week away, just my husband and I, and we were in a lake and we were doing a hike.
Without
And
the children.
yeah, without the children, we were left unsupervised for a
Oh,
whole week.
amazing,
So
amazing.
wow.
yeah, so we're going for a hike, right? And we're coming back to the car. We're leaving the parking lot, and there is a guy on a bike with his family, no helmet on, completely eats it, like
Oh.
like unconscious, like having a seizure, bleeding. It was horrific, right? So we're standing there, and Marco jumps in because he's CPR certified, whatever. He jumps in, and I'm standing there not wanting to overcrowd, but I'm doing traffic control, right? So I'm out there like, right? At the end of the day, we called 911. The ranger came, they saw to him, and we left. Now, that was significant and a significant event in the day. It's not unheard of for me, but we go through it, right? I don't see anything spiritual in that other than just being a helper, right? But I'm not receiving anything from that. Would you guys read into that if that happened to you, such as I'm writing a karmic thing or I'm just doing like doing something to me? It
Question.
was just purely like I just was there at the right time. We helped, and I've not given it any thought until just now.
For the man. For the
No,
man,
but
you were
hold
there at the
on.
right time.
Isn't that the second time that you have
Oh, it
helped
happens all the time.
a motorcyclist in a significant accident?
Yes, yeah, but it happens a lot. But I don't read, and maybe I should. And that's what I'm asking you guys. Like, at what point, if we're just the helper or the voyeur or whatever it is, we're just holding that space, even, does that classify as a spiritual experience for
Yes.
us? What am I getting out of that? Like, what am I doing with that? Because I'm not getting a high off of helping someone who's on death's
Well,
Well,
door.
you're just
hold
not the
on.
main. You're just not the main character, Kylie. Do you know what I mean?
Is
Sometimes
it?
we've got support roles.
Do you find yourself in that situation in other circumstances? Because, like, for me, knowing you and having, you know, you told me about the other one as well. Have the most significant ones been motorcycle accidents?
Well, this one was
Because
a bicycle, but two wheels.
bicycle. Yeah. Okay. That makes me think of something else, but maybe I'll talk to you about it later.
Yeah, but a
Yeah.
motorcycle and a bicycle might as
Same
well
That
be
makes
the
me
same.
think
similar
of the
mode of
same. That makes me
transportation.
think of the same thing as well,
Yeah.
Lauren.
Right.
Kylie.
Okay. So I'm just saying that, well, see, and I didn't think about that because I know what you guys are alluding to. And are you alluding to my mother?
Yeah.
We can
Yes.
give the backstory. So my mother was in a motorcycle accident when she was a teen.
Well,
And
hold on.
yeah.
Wait, don't just quickly. I don't know this story,
Oh,
and everyone listens.
okay. So,
to
because I don't want to be like obscure in the middle of a podcast with like a backstory no one's aware of. So it's not a secret. So my mother was in a motorcycle accident when she was a teen. I think she was like 15, 16. And she retained permanent brain damage, health problems because of that accident. So she's been under the care of my dad, but motorcycles have been a theme for her, you know, and has greatly changed my life. And I can see where you guys are alluding to, because I'm at a point of life where we're putting mum into a home. My father's in ill health. So it's kind of coming around full circle. So maybe it is an awareness of that. But the motorcycle accident that I was a witness to happened maybe, I don't know, 6 years ago now. So I look at these events, I can see how it could be a correlation, and it could very well be. I'm not dismissing it. But for me, sitting in this, I'm not drawn into finding parallels and the links of it. Does that make sense? I'm
For sure.
happy to let it be an independent event that I just happened to stumble upon, and same with America, I just happened to stumble on it and go along my day, even though I'm sure it changed his family's whole trajectory, or whatever the word is, you know what I mean? But I don't see it as a spiritual experience for me, maybe for them, but not for me.
But look, not at this time, Kylie. And who knows? Who knows? You may not think about this ever again. And who knows, there might be something else that happens that's not an accident or something like that, that all of a sudden something clunks into place. That's what I was trying to express. It's not like spiritual understanding. For my experience, spiritual understanding isn't cognitive. It's insightful. Do you know what I mean? It's and
Well, a
it's
clarity
spontaneous.
comes without necessarily like trying to dissect it, right? Because I
Yeah.
do think that we can fall into traps where we try and look into everything as something, and then maybe someone can get on the track of like, their anxiety is being caused by psychic attack and those sort of things. I'm not saying it can't be,
Right.
but it's just if you try to make meaning out of everything, I think sometimes that can be a little bit of a trap in a way and can stop you from really seeing the
Exhausting.
real things. But if you're noticing, you're observing, you're paying attention, and you're open to the possibility that there could be meaning in something for you, then I don't think you would miss it, right? But I do think it can be I don't recommend trying to find meaning in every single thing that happens every single day, because you will give yourself anxiety,
Yeah, very, very true. But you know what? Something's just happened with me recently. Recently just lost somebody in our family. And as I was standing there in the room with the person that had passed, um, I was thinking, well, I'm going to change up a few things because obviously it's quite personal. So with the person, so I was standing there in the room, and she because it's very recent. So she and I'm thinking to myself, they're not in that body anymore. So they're standing here in this room with us, okay? And they could be anywhere within the place that we were. But I was thinking that she's here and she can hear everything that we're thinking, everything. She can hear all of that. And I'm thinking, knowing what I know now, what do I tell her? What do I say? What do I tell her? Other than what I said in terms of goodbye and stuff like that. And then, so I thought, that whole situation of, do I tell her to go to the left? What do I tell her? Do I tell her to go towards the light? Do I tell her to... Yeah, why are you laughing?
That is
I
Or
thought
do
it
I
was a
tell
kind of
her
immediate thing, those
turn
kind of
around?
decisions. But anyway,
right.
Well,
just
what do you mean,
like,
immediate decision?
well, I
Like
thought
the
like
moment
I,
you cross over
I thought
your
like there was a
No,
decision
you
Immediate.
that
don't
was
leave.
kind of made.
You
You don't
don't leave
go
straight away.
Sure.
Don't go
immediately.
straight
No.
away. Absolutely not. Especially when
Okay.
you first pass, especially if you've got a lot of people around you, stuff like that, family, your main thing is to comfort them. So you'll stay. But not only that, the silver cord, it takes 3 days for the silver cord to dissolve that attaches you to the body. And in that
Okay.
time, you will probably travel to all the different places and people that you've ever known. You visit, you go to all of these places within those 3 days of that silver cord. And so I'm standing there and I'm thinking, do I tell them? But then what I did say is that I spoke to them in my mind, and I said to them that if you feel that you need to come back into another lifetime, then go towards the light. This is what I said. I said, if not, I said, when you're ready, turn around. I said, and look. When you turn around, I said, you will see the galaxy will stretch out before you. And I said, you go to the brightest star that calls you. There will be a bright star and it will call you. That's home. I said, go home. Okay. Now, I went down. Well, so then we were leaving and I was downstairs, and one of the other family members was speaking a story about this person when they were young. And at the very end of what they were saying, they actually said, apart from what they were saying, they actually said, I would choose them in any lifetime. I would choose them. And when she said that, I kind of went, oh my goodness, that's from the Chaos of the Stars. And so when I went to hug them goodbye, I said to them, do you know about the Chaos of the Stars? And they said, no, what do you mean? And I said, oh, I said, there's a lady who wrote a book and it's called The Chaos of the Stars. And I think her name is Kirsten White. I said, but she wrote, I think the passage is, because I send this passage to my husband every year in our anniversary card. And I said, I would choose you in every lifetime, every version of reality. I would find you and I'd choose you. And I said this to her. And to some part of it, I knew this was a message that was being given to her. And she just hugged me and she said, thank you so much for that. And she said, and then she repeated it. And I said, yeah, that's it. So I don't know whether or not she'll use that for the funeral or whatever. I don't know. I go home. We come home, my husband and I. And I think he must have gone upstairs before me, and he must have turned on the TV, because he likes to just go around the house turning on all the TVs. God knows why. But anyway, he does this. So when I go upstairs, I walk into the room and the TV screen is black and it's just stars on the screen. It's just stars. Now, usually, I know, a screensaver, it usually have landscapes and things like that, but it will also have a date. It will have the day, like Sunday, the something of July, whatever, and it will have a time on the screen. There was nothing but a black screen with stars. First of all, when I saw it, I thought, shit, the telly's broken. And then I looked at it and I went, oh my God, but that's stars. And it's really only this morning that I'm really deep in it and realizing, what is this all meaning? What is the connection? Is it that is it that she's saying, I heard you? Is it that I'm being told, well, this thing that we've been talking about for a long time is true? There's something to it. There's obviously a message in there. It's obviously spiritual. And I can't just say, oh, it's just a coincidence. Me having a conversation with a family member downstairs about the chaos of the stars. Before that, I'm telling this person to go to turn around, see the stars and find the brightest star. That's home.
Was there a bright star on the screen when you think about it?
There wasn't. It was just a ray of stars. It was just black with all these.
But this is literally just happened, Amanda, right? I feel like it's still unfolding. And I don't think it's just a coincidence. Absolutely not.
Yeah, that would be a spiritual
experience. Absolutely.
Experience, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely has meaning.
But why?
Is this your first?
You're yet to find out.
Yeah. Is this like your first time that you have told someone who has passed to explore your options?
Yeah.
So I think that someone, since hearing that concept myself, I have pondered it since as to, would I tell my loved ones to go left because I want to see them again, or would I risk that and go my own way? You know what I mean? So it would be something that would take me a lifetime to decide on, right? And I think that given that possibility to someone who's already transitioned, I think, and you are being a part of that and verbalizing that, even if it's in your head, is a huge moment for you to cement in your choice. and that may be the turning point for you in your spiritual journey in the afterlife. And that is like it's going to take me a lifetime to decide that, and it feels like that was confirmation for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because that's not an everyday occurrence. That is a huge decision to make.
It is a huge decision. I don't know what decision this person is going to make. I don't know whether or not seeing the stars on the TV and what the conversation downstairs, I don't know if that was them saying, I'm going to do that.
That's what
I
they
don't
chose.
know.
Yeah.
That's
I don't think it's the end of the story.
No, I don't. I think it's just them acknowledging that they heard, they know what you're meaning because they've now looked around and seen this. And I think that it's, if it gives you any, confirmation, I think it's that. But I agree with Lauren. I think it's still unfolding because that's a huge decision. That's huge. That's almost everything. What we're working towards, this is the ultimate decision. That is like, I don't know, maybe I'm making it into a bigger thing than it is, but
no, I agree.
Yeah.
That's everything. Well, that's life's meaning, like.
What comes up for me also is that we don't examine everything, but we do notice patterns, or we notice things that prickle us, or something. Do you know what I mean? And it's when these things start coming up, it's like almost knitting a blanket, if you know what I mean, that you can see what the pattern's like, but continually something that a friend's friend, who is my friend now as well, always says, and he's a psychologist, and he said everything's okay in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end.
That's what my grandmother used to say. That's like literally that is her thing. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh no, and then my mum was saying,
and it's a really beautiful thing, and the older I get, the more I see that if it's not okay, it's not the end. It's really just that simple, because things do eventually, harmonize into, some sort of to get complete. I don't mean integrated into me. I mean integrated into everything kind of thing. There is a point where things do seem to not end. Whatever happens to us when we die, the same thing happens to experience.
I tell you what, though, Rachel, that was so significant for me to hear, because my brother actually said that in my mum's eulogy, as it was part of the So that was I
was about to say, is Rachel now channeling in her new spiritual era? Like, is this a level unlocked?
Listen, Rachel's on fire.
Well, look, it's funny because. Well, I'll tell you one thing that kept on coming into my mind, and I just had to say it eventually. So maybe it was something like that. Yes. And listen, also, what does itchy nose mean? Because all of a sudden, my nose is so itchy. Oh my goodness.
Well, Marilyn, who was on the podcast recently, her face starts getting itchy as soon as spirit comes near. Actually,
yes.
That is
I think
right. Rachel's turning into a medium,
embodying some energy over there.
But I think also, as somebody who turns everything spiritual, in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is Lauren's grandma's way of saying hello to Lauren.
Yeah, actually, I think it's my mom. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, your mom.
No. But they both used to say it. I absolutely mentioned both of them. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think sometimes that's what it is.
Well, because as Amanda was speaking about her recent loss, my mind went to my mum, which was just in March. So it's a long time. And I was thinking about when I was sitting in the room. So that was very significant. That did have meaning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just about Rachel being a medium, the only person that I have really connected to spontaneously was Lauren's dad.
Yes.
One day turned up in my car.
Is front and center for a lot of events over here too.
And I'm not joking. I was saying to Lauren, I think your dad came to have a word with me. And I said, no, this sounds peculiar, but he was like sitting in the passenger seat, and she was like, oh yeah, he does that. And
that's
I'm
what
like,
he does.
Yeah, he does like to be in the car. Yep.
But that's the only other experience.
I'm excited for Rachel.
But can I ask something though, Kylie?
Brilliant.
Can I ask you something though? So with these motorbike accidents, do you think that, although I know that you say, well, it's not me doing the CPR, I'm sort of like guiding traffic and everything though, Do you think though that these incidents that you keep experiencing in terms of the motorbike accidents, do you think it's some way of you, I don't know, is it a way of you trying to sort of rewrite the
Right.
grids or some sort of
Yeah.
Yeah.
inputting
Look,
in different information, something?
I have tried to release my mother from, like, this woman is 82 years old and is just, it's a very, very, very sad existence, right? And I have done everything in my power to, like, release this woman from her obligation, right? And I'm not
Mm,
shy about sharing that. Like, I'm like, you know what, if this is not for her, what is she hanging on for? I don't want it to be me. So I've
yeah.
been very vocal about that with the spirit world. So thank you for saying that, because I really do hope that even if it's not the most fun activity for me to experience, but if that
Mm,
somehow releases her obligation here through some sort of karmic realignment or rewriting it for other people,
mm,
I am willing to do that, you know?
yeah.
But I
Wow.
don't appreciate that
Yeah.
way. But if that's what it takes, because I don't listen to a lot of stuff because I'm stubborn, then so be it.
You know, Kylie, I know that you really do identify with being a protector or a
You
defender or a warrior or something like
wow.
that. I mean, also consider that these people that are injured are extremely vulnerable and
Mm,
that your presence might just be holding the
yeah.
space to be clear
Yeah.
and,
That's what I first thought.
for want of better words, pure for me, uh,
Mm.
till they can actually get their fields back together again. It could just be a function like that.
Mm.
Maybe, but to me, I'm like, that's what emergency services are for. But,
I know, but emergency
yeah.
services don't deal with the multidimensional stuff, Kylie.
Look, I'm just there. I don't ask for it. It's there. I help and then I leave and I'll have no idea what happened. Just so I'll take it. It makes me a little itchy, but I'll take it. Psychic
Well, apparently
medium.
itchy's a thing.
It
Apparently.
But
very
Kylie,
much feels
sorry.
it very much feels like you're like that guardian angel that shows up out of nowhere.
Oh, bitches don't need
And
me as a
holds the
guardian
space.
angel. There is
No, no,
nothing
no,
angelic
no.
about me.
Well,
I'm
it's
No, no,
also
no.
interesting. Kylie's got an 11-2 in her chart, and I know, Kylie, you've had some close experiences
I have,
yourself.
yes, I've had some near death
Yeah, so
experiences myself.
Mm.
yeah, so I wonder if there is a little bit of a,
How do
you
you
know,
rewrite that number situation? Like, I
No,
just
it's
talk
like
to
to
Amanda.
put in a
number,
request.
the beautiful number frequency to have in your chart. And
No.
what I was thinking was her 10 ones because of that protector energy, but that healer energy. And I feel like that's who you are. And as somebody who has experienced these random moments in my life of someone mysteriously appearing to
Showing
help,
up. Mm.
and then all of a sudden they finish doing the thing and then they're
And they're
gone,
gone.
and you're like, where'd they go? That's what you feel like. And so
True.
I am going to double down on, I do think everything is spiritual. I do not believe in coincidence.
Yeah. Because you know
And I think
what?
everything has a purpose and intention and a meaning behind it. I really do.
You're right. Because you know what? A couple years ago, I don't know if I told you, I think we were doing the podcast, and a couple years ago, it was a couple years ago. Me and my husband, we went out for my birthday. We went out and we were going uptown, and we were just going to go to Victoria, and then we were just going to walk all the way to sort of wherever. I can't remember where we were going. And my mum, as we got out the station, turned to the right, and I was walking across the road. I was telling them the story of my mum, and she used to work in Victoria, and and um and I was telling him that, and I remember going up there to meet her sometimes and things like that. And as we crossed over the road, this woman walked towards us, and when I tell you, she was the spitting image of my mum.
Mm.
And the strange thing about her was that as she walked towards me, I stopped talking. And Victoria's a packed place. It is rammed packed with people. It's like Oxford Street. If anybody knows Victoria, it's rammed packed because we're right at the station. She's looking at me in my face, and I'm looking at her. And she's just this intense stare and a slight smile on her face. And I'm looking at her, and she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her. And it's almost as if we glide past each other. And as we get to the other side, my husband goes, I looked at him, my husband goes, oh my God, he goes, don't want to say it, he goes, but didn't that woman look like your mum? And I said, oh my God, you saw that? And he said, yeah. But when I turned around and looked, because I was afraid to turn around, and when I turned around and looked, because it was split seconds, it was seconds, you couldn't see, this woman wasn't there. But this was, I swear to God, but and there was no reason for her to be looking at me, but we locked eyes and we stayed like that as we passed each other like that. And it when your skin grows, and my husband was
Yeah.
like, that woman, that was, and I just said to him, that was my mum. That was my mum. And you know what I couldn't figure out is, why didn't I stop the woman? Why didn't I go and say, gosh, where are you from? Or hi, where are you from? Or something. I couldn't speak. I couldn't speak to her. I couldn't speak. What an opportunity that would have been if I had gone and spoken to her.
I don't think the experience would have been as meaningful if you did,
No.
to be honest. I think
Yeah,
that's
I
exactly
don't
how
think
it
you're
was
meant to
meant
do
to be. It might have undone the magic of her
It probably might
imprinting
have
on
done the
someone.
magic. It
Yeah.
might have been that my mum had just superimposed herself on somebody.
But
Who
I do
knows?
believe they can do that. I've definitely
Mhm.
seen that before. Yeah.
Really?
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Well, I love that you had that experience, Amanda.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I want to know how it made you feel. Like, did it make you feel exhilarated or scared or loved, or like, can you remember the kind of sensations?
I was very, very shocked. I have never ever forgotten it. I was just in shock, but I didn't know why this person had suddenly appeared, because I speak about my mum a lot, but she appeared in Victoria, crossing over from where my mum used to work. And I to this day, I just feel shocked. I didn't feel all warm and fuzzy and think, oh my God, my mum came to see me. I just I'm still shocked as shit that happened.
Isn't it funny that the woman who removes devices and entities and stuff out of fields is shocked by a personal
Treats
experience?
senators.
Yeah,
Listen,
I love that.
I think
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it,
Releases
that I can
people's
still
wings.
that I can stay
Yep.
fresh. I can stay
And don't
freshly
forget-
scared.
Don't forget
I don't
about
get
hiding behind a
complacent.
tree. Like, honestly,
right.
have you ladies forgotten?
Tree's not enough anymore.
I think, Amanda, that's your childlike wonder about you.
Mhm.
You are this like magical creature. I don't even know what you are, but also you're like this little like big-eyed child who's like excited for different things.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
it's almost like you bounce back and forth from it, and I don't even think you realize who you
Yeah,
are, to
it's
be honest.
great. Like, I'm sitting here dissecting like the TV. I'm like, this bitch doesn't even know. Like, that's confirmation. Like, why are you so shocked? Because
Yeah,
you're
but
the
I
one
think
that
it's so
created this concept
easy.
for us,
I think it's so easy for us to recognize these signs for other people, but when it comes for us,
It can be
we're like,
harder.
am I just connecting something when it's not meant to be connected? Like, I was driving with Olivia today. We were going to she had no idea where we're going to. I said to her, we need to run an errand and we're gonna go somewhere else. But on the way to that errand, I knew where I was going. And out of nowhere, she says to me, Mama, I really miss going to Little Gym. It's this gymnastics place that she used to go to, which is 2 doors down from where we were going. And I thought to myself, well, clearly she's tapped in
But she does that.
to
Yeah, she does that a lot.
did
though.
it today. She did
Right?
it today.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but she does that all the time. Do you remember
Yes.
when that time when you was driving, I think, was it past an accident, and you were sending them
Correct.
good
Mhm.
good wishes, and she said she could hear and she repeated exactly what you were saying.
Correct.
She
And
told
so
you that the person is okay, will be okay or something, isn't it?
the little
Yeah,
girl.
Lauren. I only tell Lauren because Lauren will be interested, and Yana like doesn't seem to like listen. Oh, we did have this conversation. Olivia's got that bridge between heaven and earth, human design gate right at the top. So she literally has that super highway of information. She'd be getting downloads all the time.
But it is one of those things where I sit there and I think to myself, oh, am I just like I thought, oh, she's so tapped into where we're going was my first instinct, and then it was immediately followed with, am I just connecting a dot just to connect a dot? But I don't think I'm connecting a dot just to connect a dot, and I don't think we in our lives randomly do that. Sometimes we push things to try
Yeah.
and make sense
I
of an
think
entire
Yeah, we try
if
to
you
fit it.
pause and you get quiet, you can actually tell if you're doing that.
right.
To be honest, if you like, if you dig deep and if you're deeply honest with yourself, I feel like you can tell when it's one or the other. Just got to slow
So
down
I
a bit.
So
Also,
what
I'm
new
just going to
car are
say
you
that
getting,
through.
Sorry.
well,
Look,
you know
all I
what
was going to say, oh, Jesus Christ.
Ah!
All I was going to say is we're choosing our lives every moment of the day anyway. So honestly, what I'd be doing in that situation, whether I was cluing into myself or not, is do I want to have a life that kind of thing exists, that my daughter is in a zone and can put those things together? The answer is yes. So I make that my reality. Do you know what I mean? Like, we never see the truth of anything anyway. So as far as I'm concerned, unless we're being totally delusional and it's going to really disturb other people and other people's lives, who cares? Make up your own story of how you experience things
Yeah.
as well.
Well, and
It's like,
accepting it
you
and
know,
allowing it to
choose
be
the more
real
magical.
cultivates that anyway, right? So it's like if you shut it down, then maybe you will shut it down literally. But if you are noticing it and accepting it as it is, then maybe that will cultivate that gift.
And no harm. No
Mm.
harm
Well,
in
listen, you guys know I
noticing.
live in fantasy land, so of course I'm always
You
cultivating.
do
those
not
connections.
live in
Come on.
fantasy land. I would so not say that.
Look, in the
Amanda,
sense,
maybe. Just
I
joking.
am.
Just joking. That's a joke. That's a joke. I don't think you live in fantasy land either.
You know what? To answer your question, Kylie, about this car thing, when Amanda was talking about her tire issue she had last year, not too short before my first hit, accident in my car, I had my 2 back tires flattened because there's construction next to my home. I know,
Yeah.
you guys.
Get a new
Look,
car.
Look, it's time for a new car. All right, we've made the meaning.
Yeah, I'm just
End of
saying, just park
story.
it out in the middle of the freeway and just
You didn't like
let
your car, and now your car
the
doesn't
universe
like
take
you,
care of it.
basically.
Yeah.
Right,
The
but
car
Yana,
does
what is the
well.
make of your car? What is the make?
It's I don't know, a Volkswagen.
Do you
Yeah,
like
leave that in a
Volkswagen?
really bad neighborhood and let's leave the keys in it. Just
Listen,
that's
look,
just
my
me.
first car ever was a Volkswagen. I've loved all my cars. I've had the Audis. I've had it, like, I've loved all my cars. This was a car where I was running out of time, and I told my ex, I'm like, just figure out, get me a car. I just want to go in and sign the papers. I don't want to test drive. I don't want to do anything.
So
Is
what
that
So
the
that
first
was
time
my-
you've done that?
Yeah. What did
Yes,
you
the
learn
first
from
time
that?
Okay,
I've done that.
okay.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
Yes, I
we
get it.
understand
I
now what
get
needs
it.
to happen. Yana needs to
I
pick her
get
own
it.
car.
Part of the
Okay.
process.
Look,
Yeah.
Brian already knows the car to line up for me, so
Okay.
we're good.
You've told
But
him
yeah,
what make and model and color and
he
add-ons
knows
And
and
a different
everything.
color.
perfect.
Everything.
You have our stamp of approval.
Different color.
Everything. Yep.
Ah,
Is there a favorable color for a car?
don't know.
I think there are better cars for
have to
accidents,
Google
like
that.
to not have accidents.
Yeah, there are some
and
cars. I
things.
think
Really?
there are some color cars that end up in more accidents than
Yeah.
not.
That's interesting. See,
I would
everything
genuinely
is
have bought my
perishable.
car in yellow if it came in yellow and if it was a nice yellow. But I don't know. I think the problem with cars for me is that I don't know. I get even really fussy about whites. Some whites I don't like. They're too, I don't know.
Refrigerator-ish.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
That's how
Oh,
I feel
right.
about gray. It has
Well,
to be the right
globally,
gray.
I was gonna say get rid of that white car, but actually, black cars get into the most accidents globally.
There you go.
I would think so.
That.
Has everyone here had a black car?
No.
I'm not
No.
allowed to buy a black
No,
car.
but my
Apparently,
husband
it's
has.
Okay.
anymore.
Okay, well,
Wait,
I've had
what?
a black
It
car,
has a
and that will
40%
be.
higher risk of crashes than white cars. But that's and also I guess in the UK, but neutral tones blend, like grey and silver blend into the absolute, whatever they call it, absolute, dark rose or grey skies during rain, fog,
Asphalt.
and dusk.
Mm.
Mhm. Yeah, and plus white.
You know what? I
has
don't think the
vitamin
color
D.
is the problem. I think it's just that Yana didn't pick it.
Yeah,
Like,
the car's done.
Yeah, I think
The car-
it's just
yeah, I
the
get
whole
it.
thing needs
get
to
it.
go.
Or like
See,
I
this
said, I
is-
go
this
right
is-
back to what I said, and I'm standing 10 toes on it. You was invisible.
because you've got
Okay.
your cape on. All right, we'll talk about this in
Yeah.
the next episode.
We'll talk about releasing the invisibility cloak around Yana's car.
Yeah.
We'll do some stuff on that.
So then let's just wrap this up for today, because I think okay, show of hands, is everything spiritual? Is everything happening for a reason? Seriously,
Nope, not buying it.
You got
Who-
three.
can
you
I
got
have a
three
raise
and
of hands?
half, 3.5 out of
Rachel's
5.
medium now.
Yeah.
I think Rachel's a medium now. Raise my hand. So you better send her off with a not chat with Rachel, but book in a session.
Mate, I
with
got to
Rachel
tell
now.
you, there's nothing that anybody's told me about being a medium that has ever made me want to be a medium. Do you know what I mean? Like,
But the
it's like,
gangster life
you guys
doesn't
can do
choose
that.
you, or you
Is
don't
it-
choose
if
the
this-
gangster life; it chooses you.
if this
Okay.
means that I never have to
Yeah.
hear Rachel go,
Yeah.
let me ask my finger.
I was gonna say, let me ask your grandmother.
Trust.
What are we going to be doing? Let me ask your grandmother. let me ask Plato.
Yeah, that would be handy. Do that. Thank you.
Cool. Call in the big guns now. Retire the
I love
fingers.
Okay, you guys, if you are just laughing along with us and you're interested in learning more about our collective community, if you're interested in a reading, a healing, a guided meditation session, a light body activation, or you want to really test out Rachel's mediumship skills, head on over to yoursoulwisdomshow.com. We thank you for allowing us to create this beautiful space, and we hope you have a blessed day.
Bye,
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for loving
Bye,
God, too.
everybody.